Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here, as always, to cut through the noise, get straight to the core of stories that matter. And today, well, we're looking at something recent and, frankly, deeply tragic. A story that made headlines. It came out September 2nd, 2025. The headline reads, "College student killed by her ex in parking lot before he calls 911, kills himself." It's heavy stuff. So our mission today is to take this account and distill what's really essential, not just the facts, but maybe the wider context too.
Absolutely. And look, we know this is a really sensitive topic. It involves immense loss, a very disturbing sequence of events. So we need to handle it carefully. But there's real value, I think, in understanding the specific details, the context that the source provides. So, yeah, our goal is to give you a thorough but, accessible understanding of the facts presented, hopefully connecting the dots respectfully, and maybe shedding light on some important underlying issues.
Okay, let's unpack this. So let's start with the initial facts. The bare bones of what happened, as reported. We're talking Saturday, August 30th, Westland, Michigan. Authorities get a call. They arrive on scene, and they find two people deceased. Right away, you know it's a profound tragedy.
Yeah, and the article goes into this chilling sequence of events. Based on what police said, it seems the shooter himself actually called 911, which is deeply disturbing.
He called 911.
He did. And on that call, he apparently stated very clearly that he had shot his ex-girlfriend. And then his final act was to take his own life.
Oh, wow.
So when the officers got there, they found him deceased right next to the victim. It's a horribly clear picture of what they call a murder-suicide.
Right.
Which sadly is a pattern sometimes seen in severe domestic violence situations. It's seen as this ultimate act of control or maybe avoiding consequences.
And police, they initially just confirmed two deaths, right? No names at first?
Correct. But the victim's identity, it came out quickly through her family.
She was Sarah Carroll, just 20 years old. A young woman full of promise whose life ended right there in that parking lot.
And the People article, it adds another layer with a witness account, which helps understand those final moments.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently a resident's son, someone at the apartment complex, saw Sarah confront her ex-boyfriend. And then, just like that, he reportedly pulled out a shotgun, shot her, and then turned it on himself.
God, that's hard to even imagine witnessing.
It is. It's horrific. But that eyewitness detail, as painful as it is, he gets this vivid snapshot of the tragedy's absolute final moments. The suddenness, the brutality.
It really does. It's difficult to hear, but yeah, understanding the full scope, it's necessary. But, the article doesn't just focus on the end. It spends time on who Sarah was, which provides such a stark, painful contrast, doesn't it? She was a college student, had these clear goals. She was studying to be a physician assistant, already on a path to helping people. It makes you see the person, not just the headline.
It really does. And the People article, I think, handles this part beautifully, very poignantly. It lets her family speak. They remembered her as, incredibly career-driven, focused, but also just funny, full of light. Her father, James Carroll, he's quoted saying, "She was loved by everybody she met, just wonderful," he said. And then he added, "I'm going to miss my baby."
Oh, that just hits hard.
It really does. And her mother, Jennifer Thomas, she shared similar feelings, saying Sarah was alive, she was funny, she was smart, she had everything going for her. These aren't just memories, They paint this picture of a young woman bursting with potential, deeply loved. It makes the loss feel huge.
You can absolutely feel that love and, the just immeasurable loss in their words. The article also mentions a GoFundMe set up for her funeral costs.
That's right. And the description there, it echoed what the family said, describing her as so full of life, smart, brave, strong, and with a smile that lit up every room she entered. And it added, she was only just beginning her journey, and losing her at such a young age is something no family should ever have to go through.
It really helps you, the listener, grasp the ripple effect of her passing, just devastating for everyone who knew her. But while Sarah was building this promising life filled with all that love, the article makes it clear something much darker was happening in the background. Her family provided these really critical background details that shed a completely different and devastating light on what led up to the shooting. They claim her ex-boyfriend had been stalking her.
For months.
Specifically, the last 2 months. Is what the article reports the family said.
Right, for the last 2 months.
And this piece of information from her family is just absolutely crucial context, isn't it? It moves us beyond just the tragedy itself.
Yeah, it adds a whole dimension.
And the article highlights something else really important. Sarah wasn't just, enduring this alleged stalking passively. No, quite the opposite. She was actively in the process of obtaining a protection order against him. Okay, so she was trying to get legal help, a protection order.
Exactly. Which, for anyone maybe not familiar, is a legal document from a court. It's designed to stop an abuser from contacting or approaching the victim. It usually means staying away from their home, work, school, that sort of thing.
So the fact she was pursuing this.
It shows she was taking concrete legal steps, trying to protect herself. It really signals how serious she felt the threat was. This wasn't just a minor worry. It was clearly an urgent plea for help from the legal system.
That is such a powerful and heartbreaking detail, given that she was actively seeking this protection order. What does that tell us about maybe the challenges people face trying to escape these situations?
Well, that's a really crucial question, isn't it? Because the article, I think, starkly highlights this gap. Even when a victim like Sarah bravely takes the right legal steps, there can still be this tragic failure of safety. Her trying to get that order shows immense courage, right?
Yeah.
And a clear awareness of the danger. But the outcome, it tragically shows that these legal tools, while they are vital, they aren't always a magic shield.
They aren't foolproof.
Not at all. They rely on enforcement. They rely on the perpetrator actually complying. And in this case, clearly, that failed completely. It suggests maybe a deeper challenge in protecting people from really determined aggressors, even when the proper channels are used.
Yeah.
Makes you ask, what more could have been done? Or what gaps exist in the system?
So here's this young woman. She clearly saw the danger. She was actively trying to get help through the system. And yet, this still happened. It really forces you to think about the limitations and just the sheer courage it takes.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, these details, the alleged stalking over months, her actively trying to get that legal protection, it just powerfully illustrates how these threatening situations can escalate and the serious, serious challenges people face just trying to find safety. It underscores that the path to safety, it's often filled with risk. And even when someone is actively seeking help, the threat can still, tragically, become reality. Which, this raises an important question maybe for you, the listener. How do we get better at recognizing not just the obvious signs of distress, but maybe the more subtle escalating patterns?
Like coercive control, harassment.
Exactly. Things that can precede these tragedies.
Yeah.
And maybe how can we better support people who are courageously trying to escape?
That's a really powerful question. It definitely shifts this specific awful story into something broader, more universal. So what does this all mean for us, as individuals, maybe as a community? I mean, it really emphasizes how important awareness is, doesn't it, around domestic violence, stalking, these often hidden struggles people face.
Absolutely. Awareness is definitely step one. But perhaps even more critically, it's about understanding the layers, the complexity, understanding the barriers victims face, even when they're trying to get help, like Sarah's story shows so tragically. That's where the real deep dive needs to go, perhaps.
Yeah.
And the People article itself, it acknowledges this need for support. It points to a really specific, crucial resource.
Okay.
The National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Yeah.
This isn't just a name drop. It's a lifeline for so many people.
Okay, and that's vital information. Everyone should probably know this, whether it's for themselves or maybe someone they know. So the number is 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. Or you can go online to thehotline.org. Maybe just having that info handy or sharing it could make a huge difference.
What's really important about this hotline is how accessible it is. It operates 24/7, and crucially, they offer support in over 170 languages.
Wow, 170.
Yeah, it's completely toll-free, completely confidential, which means help is genuinely within reach for almost anyone, anytime, respecting their privacy and their language. These resources, they exist to provide a safe space, someone to listen without judgment, and practical support. They really are a testament that you don't have to go through it alone.
That's incredibly important to remember. Okay, so just to quickly recap what we've kind of unpacked here today. We talked about the tragic loss of Sarah Carroll, this vibrant 20-year-old with her whole life ahead. We walked through the chilling details of the murder-suicide in Westland, Michigan, based on that People magazine report. And maybe most importantly, we explored those critical background details from her family, the claims of stalking for months, and her active, brave efforts to get a protection order. A plea for safety that just tragically came too late.
Yeah, and maybe as you, the listener, reflect on Sarah's story, consider not just the awful outcome, but those silent battles, the ones many people might be fighting, often, like Sarah, courageously seeking help even when they're facing overwhelming fear. I think this deep dive really prompts us to remember that behind every headline, there's a human story, often complex, often filled with struggles we don't see. It kind of urges us, doesn't it, as individuals, as communities, to be observant, maybe to listen a bit more actively, to be supportive for those who might be quietly looking for a way out. It really highlights the responsibility we all share, maybe, in fostering a society where seeking help is actually met with effective protection, not just, good intentions.
That's a really vital and insightful thought to end on. We really hope this deep dive has helped you understand the layers of this tragic story. But maybe more profoundly, we hope it encourages you to reflect on what you've learned and how this might shape your understanding of these important, often unseen, struggles happening around us. Thank you for joining us on the deep dive.